Presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Detroit.
Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by
Bell Tire.
Fulmer's impressive rookie season continues, and today he will try and pitch the Tigers to a series win. Welcome to Arlington. Warm day for baseball here at Globe Life Park. Game 3, Tigers and the Texas Rangers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba. Craig Monroe, glad to have you with us here for Game 3 in the series. Each team has a win, and the Tigers have that secret weapon, Simo. They got Fulmer going today. What a year it's been for the rookie.
It's been an outstanding year for this young man. You have to love the way he goes about his business. He goes to the mound with this bulldog mentality. Take a look at some of the categories here. He's ranked among the best in all of baseball here. 2.43 ERA, and he also has a 1.06 whip. Listen, here's how he's going to do it. He's going to overpower him with a 98-mile-per-hour fastball that he moves around the strike zone, in and out, up and down, and then he's going to throw that wipeout slider. But you have to give Fulmer a lot of credit. You knew that he would compete with the two pitches, the fastball and the slider, but when he added the changeup, you knew he could dominate. Well, the numbers back that up, Mario. He's 9-3. He's been getting it done.
All right, now speaking of numbers, the Tigers started this road trip with a sweep at the hands of the Seattle Mariners, lost the first game here, but all of a sudden you win today and you feel pretty good about this road trip.
Well, they faced some tough pitchers on this particular road trip. In Seattle, they went up against Iwakuma. He was outstanding. They faced King Felix. They faced Yu Darvish here yesterday, 2 days ago, and now they faced Cole Hamels on last night, and they were able to beat him. So it will be nice. It'll be a happy flight for the boys if they can go out and win one tonight against a really good Texas Rangers baseball team.
All right, Michael Fulmer trying to pitch the Tigers to a series win. We'll take a quick timeout. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Coliseum Studios. Check in with Justin White and the Tigers and the Rangers coming up in just a couple of minutes. So go back to the Coliseum Studios. Sports Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Raise your expectations of what a bank can be when it's time. Come to Comerica. And by Chrysler, who invites you to check out the great deals on Chrysler vehicles now through August 11th. It is a steamy afternoon here in Arlington. A little bit overcast and cloudy, so it'll keep the sunshine away. But temperatures in the 90s here this afternoon. Tigers and the Rangers wrapping up the series. The starting lineup for the Tigers in this one presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. It'll be Ian Kinsler leading it off, followed by Tyler Collins in the 2 spot today. Cabrera is playing first base, Victor the DH, JD in right field. You've got Upton in left. Casey McGee had a huge night last night, bumping up his numbers. McCann and Romine will close it out for the Tigers lineup here this afternoon, and they are facing the right-handed offerings of A.J. Griffin.
Mario, he has a 4-pitch mix. He's got a fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup. He's not overpowering. What he likes to do is change speeds. He's going to try to keep the Tigers off balance with good fastballs on the inside part of the plate, and then he's going to try to go to those secondary pitches. And he has a lot of confidence to throw those pitches in any count that he likes. So look for him to pitch backwards, so to speak. In fastball counts, he'll throw some breaking balls, and in curveball counts and all-speed counts, he'll throw his fastball. Let's take a look at the starting defense, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Up the middle, Provar at shortstop today. You got Odor at second base. Around the outfield from left to right, you got Nomar Mazaro. You also have In Desmond in center and Chu in right. And behind the plate, you have Jonathan Lucroy. And at the corners, you have Adrian Beltre and Mitch Moreland.
All right, we're ready for baseball here this afternoon. Tigers' chance to win 2 out of 3 in this series. Go back home with a pretty good feeling. Royals in town beginning tomorrow night. 7-game homestand on tap. But first things first, Ian Kinsler is settling in the batter's box. He'll be followed by Collins and then Cabrera. Here's the first pitch of today's ball game. A strike called on Ian. Kinsler 2 out of 9 in the series. He has hit safely in 10 of his last 11. Solid numbers all the way around this season. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and it's a strike called. Up with the right hand goes Brian Knight. 0-2 on Kinsler. Griffin out of El Cajon, California. He's 28 years old. The 0-2 sails high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Griffin trying to make his way back from an injury. Tommy John surgery. Missed the last 2 years. Swing and a miss, and he got him on strikes. The pitch out of the strike zone. Kinsler went fishing.
Kinsler on a 1-2 pitch, a little bit aggressive. That ball there is up and out of the strike zone. Kinsler takes a big swing with 2 strikes, which is rare. Normally sits and gets better pitches to hit. For that particular bat, swung at a pitch out of the strike zone.
So a fast start for Griffin. He will face Tyler Collins now, who's in the 2 spot today. Infield playing to pull a bit on Collins. And Tyler looks at a ball inside. I was interested to see who was going to bat second today because McGee was so good last night in that 2-hole, man. He had 4 hits, but you've got a righty on the mound. Collins pops it up. Middle of the infield. Odor back to the grass. And there are 2 gone.
The Rangers starting staff all series long, Mario, has gotten the Tigers to chase that fastball up in the strike zone. They're going to have to be a little bit more patient on that particular pitch. Get A.J. Griffin down in the strike zone to where the bats can really get loose and do some damage here at Globe Life Park.
Well, here's a guy that has done some damage in this ballpark, really in his career and in this series, and that's Cabrera, who is 4 for 8. He's got himself a double in the series. And Miguel looks at a strike call. So Griffin coming out of the bullpen in his warm-ups, throwing strikes here to start this one. Big right-hander goes 6'5", 230 out of El Cajon. And Cabrera looks at a ball high, 1-1. Griffin had Tommy John surgery in April of 2014 and has made his way back. A little bit outside, 2 balls and 1 strike, just missed the outside corner. Pretty good, huh? 5 for 7.
Not bad at all. A couple home runs. Looking for a big day from Miggy. He obviously sees the baseball extremely well off of A.J. Griffin.
Hammered foul back out of play. By the way, if the Tigers combine for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow, and you will get yourself a free small order of curly fries.
So far, Mario, in this particular inning, it's early. A lot of fastballs. He's actually going after the Tigers hitters. The scouting report says that he likes to go to his off-speed pitches, and that hasn't been the case.
Did he hold up? He did not. He went around. Strike 3. Again, that elevated pitch. 2 strikeouts for Griffin, and 11 pitch first inning. Michael Fulmer today, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Well, you have to love what Michael Fulmer's done this year's 9-3 record with a 2.43 ERA. Guys, he flat out overpowers right-hand and left-hand hitters with a 95 to 98 mile-per-hour fastball. He's got an absolute wipeout slider, and he's developed a real nice plus changeup, Mario, which has allowed him to dominate at the big league level.
It really has taken him to the next level, and it really didn't take long for him to master that pitch. Shin-Soo Choo leads it off, and he looks at a strike in the outside corner.
Well, you also have to give the catcher, Salty, and James McCann behind the plate a lot of credit. They forced Fulmer into throwing that changeup, and it's paid huge dividends for him.
Choo sends a ground ball right into the shift, and he is out number 1. Here's the rest of the lineup for Texas, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. You saw Choo at the top. They've got Desmond and Beltran in their top 3. Beltre, Odor, and Lucroy, who's done really good things since the trade. Moreland at first. Profar playing short today, and the rookie Mazzara is in left field. That'll bring up Ian Desmond now. He swings and misses 0-1.
Mario, I have to admit, I was looking forward to watching Fulmer face the Texas Rangers because they are such a potent lineup. And we've seen him go into Beantown and face that really tough lineup as well. And I was interested to see how he would pitch against the Texas Rangers.
Well, I think there are a lot of skeptics when you have a young guy who gets off to a great start and you wait and you say, all right, well, let's see what he does the second time he faces a team, or when he faces an offense like this Rangers ball club. That's fouled straight back. And the one telling thing for me is he went against Toronto. He faced the Blue Jays back in early June, and 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and that's a good team.
That's definitely a good hitting team. He just has a great poise on the mound. He believes in what he's doing out there. He trusts it, and that's the key at the major league level. You have to trust your stuff when you get out there.
Bulldog is a term that is used quite a bit when describing Michael Fulmer. 1-2 on Ian Desmond, who's batting .290. Couple of hits in the series. He has scored a run. And there's a ball hit back up the middle. Kinsler is scooting to his right. 2 gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense presented by Beaumont's Health. Around the outfield, you have Upton in left, Collins in center, Martinez in right. Around the infield, McGee at third base, Romine at shortstop, Kinsler at second base, Cabrera at first, and McCann behind the plate.
2 gone. That'll bring up Carlos Beltran. They play the shift on against Beltran. He pounds it right to the ground to the first baseman Cabrera, and that's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning. Michael Fulmer needed just 8 pitches.
Welcome back to Arlington here. Guys, it's been a rubber game match with the Rangers today. But last night, Matt Boyd was simply outstanding. Commanded the strike zone with all of his pitches. He moved the baseball around the strike zone. He was in and out. He did an outstanding job of keeping the Rangers off balance.
He really did. Cole Hamels, the Rangers starter, really paid a lot of compliments to Boyd after the game last night. Talking about that dominating slider that he had. 7 innings for Boyd in that game. There's a line drive that's going to be fair down the left field line. Victor motoring towards second base. He'll chug in with a double. Leadoff 2-base hit for the Tigers here in the second. And the first hit of the ball game for either side. Victor's 17th double of the year.
It's a nice piece of hitting there. Fastball away from him. Stays square, stays on the baseball, drives that ball the opposite way. But that's what Victor does. He slashes to all fields. He's a tough out in the batter's box.
That is the 8th extra base hit in the series for the Tigers. They had a boatload of hits last night, 14 hits.
I know, but only 2 runs. I was a little surprised that they weren't able to string those back-to-back and score more runs when you get 14 knocks.
Yeah, the Tigers left double digits on the bases last night. Griffin throws a strike to J.D. Martinez. 4-game hitting streak down for J.D., batting .298 overall.
Griffin will have his work cut out for him today against this Tigers lineup. He's not overpowering. You have a lot of guys in this lineup that stays inside the ball and drives the ball to the big part of the field. He will use his breaking ball, his slider, and he also likes that changeup. Matter of fact, he uses that slider 19% of the time.
Griffin signed by the Rangers in December. Spent his entire career with the A's system. There's a chopper to third that will not advance the runner. Beltre throws out Martinez, 1 gone.
Would have really liked in that particular bat with V-Mart getting the inning started with the double. for JD to stay inside that baseball and think more towards the second base to right field to move the runner. Situational hitting. And that's something, especially when you're trying to win a series against a really good ball club like the Texas Rangers, who have 69 wins, 20 games over 500. You want to do the little things to get yourself in some scoring position and try to take advantage.
Yeah, the 69 wins for the Rangers, the most in the American League. Only the Cubs over in the National League have more, as Upton looks at a ball high. Well, Justin, with one hit in the series, he was able to break an 0 for 17 last night with a single in his third at bat. Pounded toward right field, slicing to the corner, though, and out of play.
I continue to watch Justin swing, and it seems like he's late on the fastball. There's a fastball over the middle of the plate, and he fouls it off to the right side. He just seems to be in between, Mario. And in breaking balls, he's a little bit more out on that front foot. Like to see him hit with a little better rhythm and timing, where he can get the bat head out in front, and that's when he's able to do some damage.
He's got a chance to drive in a run here with 1 out. And he skies this one in the air to center. It's playable. Ian Desmond is under it, and there are 2 gone. Stay tuned to Tigers Live. Following the game, we will select the Fox Sports Detroit Tigers player of the game, presented by McDonald's. Stop by for your breakfast favorites, now being served all day. You know, Simo, you talk about Upton and being in between. At this point of the season, I mean, how much extra work can you do in the cage? I mean, this is the time of the year where you're kind of worn down, aren't you?
Well, yeah, you're definitely worn down, but at the same time, you have to continue to do the homework and do your work in the batting cage, working off the tee. A lot of guys, you know, especially when you feel like you're in between and you're pulling off the baseball, and we've seen Upton do that throughout the season. You have to move that baseball back to the middle of your body, and you start to gain some trust in letting the ball travel and being short and allowing the backside to knock the front side loose, which generates some power.
Casey McGee is up there. A 4-hit game yesterday for McGee.
And also, too, Mario, when you're in a slump and you broke out of the 0 for 17 yesterday, players are going to tell you that they're not adding pressure to themselves, and that's not true. Guys are pressing. You're squeezing the bat a little bit harder. You're trying to see the baseball longer. And then a lot of times you just need to relax and just let your natural ability take over.
0-2 on McGee.
Goes back to that trust thing that I talked about earlier. You have to trust what you've done throughout your career.
Right.
And when you start to scuffle, the first thing that goes is your confidence. You start to self-doubt.
Really, one of the fascinating things about this sport, and really sport in general, you can be playing this game for 20 years at this level and you're still going to have bouts with confidence.
Absolutely. This game has a funny way of humbling you, and it humbles you fast.
McGee took one that just missed a little bit outside. 1-2. Griffin trying to pitch around a leadoff double from Victor Martinez.
It's also tough for players when they've come accustomed to having success to kind of go through some tough times. You kind of find out really what you're made of. And Upton's one of those guys.
Another foul back out of play. Well, McGee certainly has been a nice fill-in for Nick Castellanos, who remains on the disabled list with a broken hand. But for McGee, I mean, this guy is, yes, he was in the minors this year, but he's got a lot of big league time.
He's got a lot of big league time, and he also has he has a nice swing at the plate. Like we talked about yesterday, he's a contact hitter. He's not going to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but he's going to find a way to put the barrel of the bat on the ball.
And he went around, strike 3. That'll be the 3rd strikeout of the game for Griffin. Tigers waste a leadoff double by Victor Martinez. And Menards brings you the big money encounter. The one of the toughest guys to strike out when you look at the lowest K percentage this season. Beltre up there with Altuve and Murphy, 10.5%.
Beltre's up on the ditch too. He makes that outside pitch more of a out of third pitch to him, not necessarily on the black outside.
He'll get things started here with Odor and then Lucroy to follow in the second. A snappy first inning for Michael Fulmer. He took just 8 pitches to get 3 quick outs. Beltre hammers one down the left field line. That is going to get down off the wall. Beltre taking the turn, thought about going to second. He hit that ball so hard he was limited to a single.
J-Up really did a good job of playing that ball off the wall and getting it back in, holding Beltre to a single. Take a look at how he understands. He recognizes very early here that he's not going to be able to get to this ball. And this is smart play here. You have to make sure that you watch the ball off the wall and make sure that you get in the position to catch and throw it and get it back in. And he did exactly that. And you watch Beltre, he out of the box, he was looking to go to. But Upton says, oh, no, no, no. You have to get back, senor.
Well, a lot of times you'll see that left fielder get a little bit too close to the wall, and by that time it's too late.
Well, what you do is normally in the first day you come in, you go work with Dave Clark, the outfield instructor, and he hits some balls off the wall to just see what the ball's going to do off the wall.
Odor skies this one toward the seats.
Doing your homework a little bit.
Yeah, because each ballpark is different,
yes.
and not really just the funky ballparks like, you know, Fenway Park. You got to really do it at every ballpark, don't you?
You really do. It's just so important for you to be comfortable in the outfield. You know, kind of get into the outfield early before anybody gets here. Take some balls off the wall. You know, take some ground balls to see how fast the grass is. And here, especially in Texas, when the ball hits the ground, especially on a line drive to left, the ball's going to skip and get on you in a hurry.
Odor is batting .278, had his 7-game hitting streak snapped in yesterday's ball game. But in his last 8, .306.
6 extra base hits, 5 steaks. He's been getting busy. He's got an attitude. He plays with a little chip on his shoulder.
There is an edge to his game,
yes,
to be sure.
There is.
Swing and a miss, and Odor is dusted again out of the strike zone. Oh, way out of the strike zone. One gone. Well, the pennant race is on. Place a deposit on 2017 Detroit Tigers season tickets and receive a 2016 postseason priority. Call 313-471-BALL or visit tigers.com for more information. Well, we've talked about it all series long. Guys chasing that pitch out of the strike zone, and even though it's kind of become an epidemic, it just continues.
It really does. Again, it's the closest pitch to your eyes, and you just can't take it because it looks so good out of their hand.
Lucroy will step in, and he has been red hot. 3 for 6 in this series, 2 homers and 5 RBIs.
That's one of the things that pitchers like to do. They'll go with that fastball love to try to get you to chase. And then you talk about changing eye levels, and that's when you see that slider down and away, and it's the furthest pitch from your eyes. And a lot of times we take that pitch, and it's a strike.
Lucroy looks at a ball low. 2-0 on the count. It's been a roller coaster type season for Brad and the Tigers, and they had such a great homestand, hit the road, and then lost the first 4. Their losing streak reached 5, but then they beat Cole Hamels yesterday. So it's tough to figure out sometimes.
Well, a lot of times it's about when you face the team. And Seattle right now is rolling. They're getting good starting pitching, which that's where it always starts. But their offense is perked up as well. Cano in the middle there. Nelson Cruz. These guys is carrying that offense.
2 balls and 1 strike on Lucroy. This is how they play him defensively, fairly straight all the way around. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Lucroy finished 4th in the MVP voting in the National League a couple of years ago, the 2014 season. So while he's a relative unknown in American League circles, over in the National League, everybody knew this guy could hit.
He just impacts the game on both sides of the ball. Outstanding behind the plate. gives you a quality at bat.
That'll dart low and away, and the count fills now 3-2. Michael Fulmer had a 1-2-3 first. His last start against Seattle certainly pitched well enough to win. 7 innings, only 2 runs, but he took the loss. And that was his first loss in 8 starts.
I like JD positioning in right field right now, especially with 2 strikes. So the book on LaCroix is that he's not a dead pull hitter, but he's a guy that pulls the ball, and that's when he hits out of the ballpark. But when he goes the opposite way, it's a soft line drive.
Runner goes 3-2, swing and a miss, thrown on to second. The tag, he is out at second base. They started the runner to stay out of the double play, and Beltre is the victim of a strikeout. Throw him out. That'll be it for the Rangers here in the second. Still no score.
The mechanic. McCann stepped to the plate, but take a look at this here. Strike him out, throw him out. The mechanic from behind the plate getting it done.
A little bit of a risk by starting the runner. If LaCroix didn't put that ball in play, he's going to be out. And Beltre was out. And so the Tigers take advantage of that. Now McCann leading it off here in the third. Romine and then Kinsler to follow. And there's a ball low and away from Griffin. James back behind the dish after a big game in game 1. He had a couple of hits, a home run, and it looked like that he was starting to get that stroke back. Ball 2 outside to McCann.
Yeah, I liked his approach against Yu Darvish. He made some adjustment. He got on a fastball and he hit off the wall to left center. Then in his next at bat, he was sitting on a breaking ball, that Ephus pitch that you were talking about. He hit that ball out of the ballpark.
2-1. That Ephus pitch is a timing thing, which messes up the timing of the hitter, but didn't mess him up all that much.
Absolutely not. Well, it was a first pitch, is sort of that get me over breaking ball, and that's where guys have an opportunity to ambush that pitch on the first pitch, because it's elevated. It's not one of those ones that has that nasty bite that starts in the strike zone, and then when you start your swing, it's simply on the ground or down and away from the hitter.
See the pitch usage on A.J. Griffin. Four-seamer about 36% of the time. There's a swing and a miss. Struck him out, one gone.
Well, we talked about A.J. Griffin coming into the contest using his off-speed pitches, Mario, but that has not been the case. That's a nice two-seam fastball with good arm side movement in on James McCann's to punch him out.
And that was elevated, not out of the strike zone, but elevated nonetheless at the upper reaches of the strike zone. Here's Romine playing short today. He'll drive one foul back out of play.
Nice grab by the young fellow up there.
Had a few of those in this series.
We have.
We've got some fielders down here in Texas.
Put them in, coach. They're ready to play.
Griffin's 0-1. What do you got on this, Simo?
Well, again, everybody seems to act like they've done it before. Nobody's surprised about getting a baseball here, and you got to love it.
Oh, there's a snag by the second baseman, Odor. Continuing the theme of good defense.
Yeah. Well, they've been real good, too. They've been real good all season long. That double play combination between Elvis Andrews and Odor, but Tovar's there at shortstop today.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler's gotten a chilly reception here in Texas this year. Of course, he played 8 seasons here with the Rangers. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. Kinsler had some really good years. He finished with 172 homers in a Rangers uniform.
He had one of the best hitting instructors in our game, in Rudy Jaramillo, known for getting guys to really good hitting positions, getting that front foot down with their hands back, and that's exactly how Kinsler approaches every at bat.
Ian struck out in the first inning, and now Griffin has him 0-2. And he took it just a little bit outside. Bernstein advantage brings you the pitcher batter matchup. We'll look at what he has done, Kinsler that is, against his former team. Overall 354.
11 extra base hits, 11 RBIs.
Yanked foul to left field.
Where it's always something as a player, and I had an opportunity to do it against the Texas Rangers, and then when I went to Minnesota I had a chance to play against the Tigers. And your concentration level against your former team goes to a whole nother level. You want nothing more than to go out and just do some serious damage against that team. And it's kind of like you shouldn't have gotten rid of me sort of way.
Take that sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like take that.
5 strikeouts for Griffin. We go to the bottom of the third. All right, Johnny, thanks. Here it is scoreless as we go to the bottom of the third. Moreland, Profar, Mazzara, the bottom 3, facing Michael Fulmer, who gave up a single but no damage in the second. And a swing and a miss by Moreland. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fulmer is a native of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, which is not too far from here. His home about 3 hours here from Texas. And Simo, you know what it's like to come back to your home state and play. And he's got a lot of folks in the ballpark today.
He does. Got over 50 people in the stands tonight. Some of his former teammates, friends from high school. And when you come back to perform in front of them, at times you put pressure on yourself, trying to do too much because you want to put on the show for your friends. But I like the way Fulmer's handled himself. He obviously has blocked that out because he's been very efficient in the strike zone, pounding it on both sides of the plate. This young man has that demeanor, man. He has that poise that it takes to be a really good top of the rotation pitcher.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Well, he doesn't seem like a guy that's going to be overcome by the situation, whether there's, family and friends in the stadium or pitching on a big stage. That's one of the most impressive things about Fulmer so far.
Yeah, but on the inside, he's thinking, man, I want to go out and deal in front of my friends.
That's real talk right there.
That's real talk. That's real talk right there.
2-2 on Moreland. They've got him played to pull. They shift on the right side of the infield against the left-handed batter. And a swing and a miss. Moreland flew wide open there and struck out. Third punch out of the game for Fulmer. Here's the Chevy Silverado, most dependable player. When you look at some of these rookie ranks that Michael Fulmer has fallen into here, these are major league ranks now. Win percentage up there.
The ERA 2.43, ranked first there. Opponent's batting average 214, he's second. The kid's the real deal. There's no question about that.
Well, like I said, I mean, I think as a fan base or even those that watch the game every day, and even teammates and coaches, they want to see how he progresses through the second part of the season because he got off to such a great start if he could maintain. And it appears he has the stuff and the ability to maintain.
He also has the confidence, though. He has the confidence every time he takes the bump. And I love what he talks about. He talks about the team. It's all about the team winning. And I think that too in itself takes a lot of pressure off you when you focus on the team, and it allows you to go out and have the kind of success that Michael Fulmer's having this year.
3-0 on Jurickson Profar. Well, last night after Matt Boyd stymied this good Rangers team, all he wanted to talk about was his team and how he was led by his catcher and the defense playing behind him. And would I even say a good word about himself? That's just the way these young guys on the staff are.
They're playing for each other. That's the best way to do it. Play for each other. Your individual accolade, they're going to be there if you focus on the team.
3-1 on Jurickson Profar. And he drives this one in the air toward right center field. Collins on the move, still going back. He'll reach and make the catch right before the wall. Well, that ball took off.
It really did. Collins got a good jump on this particular ball here, too. Read it right away, took the right route, direct route to the baseball, and was able to make a play. Take a look at the jump here. The Collins get right off the bat. He knows right away that ball's it's hammered in the gap, and he goes back and makes an outstanding play just on the warning track.
2 gone here in the third. That'll bring up Nomar Mazara.
Love watching the outfielders, being a former outfielder, watching their jumps, seeing if they're reading the ball off the bat. So important to watch where the pitcher or the catcher's setting up, to allow yourself to make plays for your pitcher.
These guys are so good sometimes you forget to look at the fundamental part of each position. And if he doesn't get a good first step there, he has trouble making the play on that ball.
I don't think he makes that play if he doesn't get that real good jump that he got.
2-0 the count. Nomar Mazara. 2 outs, nobody on in the third. And Mazara sends a slow ground ball back up the middle. Romine throws him out, and Fulmer continues to cruise along through 3. Scouting report on Cameron Maybin and his impact with the Tigers. Of course, Maybin on the DL right now, but here are the numbers, Simo, with him in the lineup and without.
Well, there's no question that Maybin, when he came up, off the DL, he ignited this offense. He ignited this team. He brought some swag, some confidence to a team that really needed it at the time.
Yeah, the Tigers 11 over the 500 mark with Cameron in there.
I actually ran into Cam down in the clubhouse today, and boy, is he bothered by the fact that he can't compete and be out there with his boys.
Well, he was talking about that in Seattle when the Tigers decided to put him on the DL. He was just so disappointed that the thumb wasn't getting any better. Collins looks at it, strike, 2-1.
He absolutely loves being back here in a Tigers uniform. When I start to talk about the old days when he first came up and I had to leave, the excitement when he talks about putting it back on, and I love it.
That'll flare back out of play. Well, I'd be excited too if on a nightly basis I was batting in front of Miguel Cabrera.
Right?
Getting fastball after fastball after fastball. I talked to Tyler Collins about that recently, and Tyler said, "Oh yeah, make no mistake about it, man. They challenge me sometimes. They don't want to face Mickey with somebody on."
And he's done a really good job too since returning from the minor leagues, shrinking that strike zone, getting better pitches to hit.
And we're talking about Fulmer having a lot of family and friends here, and Collins was born in Lubbock, Texas, which is in West Texas, but now lives not too far from here in Trophy Club, Texas.
Yeah, I saw him early, right before the game, hugging, kissing babies.
2-2 on Tyler. And there's a base hit to left field. He went the other way.
Nice two-strike approach right there. Didn't pull off that baseball with 2 strikes. The rule of thumb is to try to let it travel. They tell you that good hitters get jammed. He didn't get jammed there, but he let the ball travel. He hit a missile past the shortstop.
Tigers have their second hit of the ball game. Leadoff man on.
Yeah, take a look at where this pitch is here. It's fading down and away from it, right over the heart of the plate. Collins stays on it and hits it the opposite way.
That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. Griffin struck him out in the first inning. And a ball high.
Like the adjustment right away right there by Miggy. He chased 2 of those pitches up in the strike zone in his first at bat. Griffin goes right back up there. And Miggy says, "No, not this time. I'm not biting. I'm going to get him something in the zone where he can do some real damage that we've come accustomed to seeing."
4 for 9 in the series for Miguel. Driven to right field, slicing. This looks like trouble if it gets down fair, and it does not. And there's not a lot of foul territory down there. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in today's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Miggy made a bid to the right field corner, but it just kept slicing. Cabrera was walked intentionally in the ball game last night. It was the 10th time that he was walked intentionally this year. And there's only one player that has more intentional walks this season. You won't be surprised to know that it's Big Papi.
Big Papi. What a year he's having. So he says in his final season.
And Cabrera looks at a ball inside. 2-1 on Miguel. And Big Papi and the Red Sox right now lead the Tigers by a game and a half in the wild card, and they're putting a whooping on the Diamondbacks today, 16-1. And Zach Greinke even started that game. There's a high pop-up, first base side. We'll see if there's room. Moreland and Odor, tough play into the sunlight. Moreland with a nice play.
Moreland's a solid defensive player over at first base. Can pick it, knows his way around the base. And here's an outstanding play, battling the sun here. Gets back, knows exactly where he's at. Look at him. He takes a peek over at the stands and knows where he's at. Knows he has room. And he lets Odor know, I got it. And he makes an outstanding grab.
Here's Victor Martinez, who doubled to start things off in the second. Unfortunately, the Tigers couldn't even advance him. Fulmer batting .302 now on the year. Collins will draw a throw. Tyler has only one swipe this season. Up high, 1 ball to no strikes. At one time, A.J. Griffin was one of the better young players in the American League pitching wise. He was off to a 7-1 start as a rookie in 2012 and then followed that up with 14 wins the next year, and then Tommy John hit. Here's the 1-0. Driven high in the air to right field. Going back toward the corner is Chu. Still going back to the wall, and that ball is going to stay fair and gone. It was a matter of fair or foul, and on a 1-0 pitch, Victor Martinez hits it out.
Victor got a pitch out of inside that he can handle. Pulled his hands in extremely nice there. Got the front foot down, backside, and he kept that baseball fair.
So Martinez gives the Tigers the lead, his 21st home run of the year.
Take a look at the swing there. Look at the front foot get down. Victor head down on the baseball, gets his hands inside, gets in a very good hitting position, and allows that backside again to knock the front side loose, and that's when you create that backspin and the ball seems to carry.
RBI 68 and 69 for Martinez, and the Tigers bench happy early in this one. Griffin surrenders the 2-run homer. That thing was lofted to right field, and it took a while to get out. Here's J.D. Martinez, and he rifles one to left field. That's going to get down. Extra bases written all over this one. It rolls to the wall, and Martinez into second with a double.
Mario, Griffin has struggled the second time through the lineup this year in particular. Guys are hitting .291 and an OPS of .885. So he struggles that second time through the lineup.
Well, he pitched around the leadoff double in the second, and now he's hit a total of 50 pitches in this game. Victor got him for a 2-run homer. Now J.D. with a double. Here's Justin Upton.
He's one of those guys that you have to take a look at that first time through. He has tremendous arm side movement on his two-seam fastball. He's got some depth on that slider and breaking ball. And once you start to put him in the strike zone, though, you start to pick up the baseball a lot quicker, a lot better, and then you start to zone him in on the zone that you like to hit. And that's exactly what the Tigers have done in the top of this fourth inning.
Upton flied out his first time up to the center fielder. And a ball missing outside. 2-0 now on Justin. He's got himself in a good count here with the runner at second base, 1 out.
Here's where you pick a zone. If you're 2-0 count, you look for a fastball middle in.
High pop-up, shallow left center field. Who's going to get there? Anyone? Yep, the center fielder, Desmond. Ooh, they almost got the double play. J.D. Martinez just got back into second base.
Upton got the pitch that he was looking for. 2-0 there. Fastball over the heart of the plate. Just a little bit under. Pops that one up to short center field. But he did. You're absolutely right. Almost got J.D. getting back into second base there.
Rangers thought about looking at it, but they've waved it off. So now Casey McGee with 2 outs. It for a moment looked like that ball had a chance to drop in.
And I think that's what J.D. was thinking there too, Mario. He thought that ball might have gotten down, which I don't think he would have been. Well, he wouldn't have been able to score. He would have moved up a base. But I'm glad he got back, and now he gives McGee an opportunity to hit with the guy in scoring position.
Casey sends a ground ball short, and right there is Profar. That'll be it for the Tigers. However, they score first in this game off the bat of Victor Martinez, a 2-run shot to go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Tigers have a 2-0 lead as the Rangers give up the 2-run shot to Victor Martinez. They'll have Chu, Desmond, and Beltran here in the 4th inning. We dip into the Call Sam Studios now. Welcome in Rod Allen and Michael Fulmer. So far, so good today. I guess just a continuation of what we've seen this year. Well, and he certainly pitched well enough to win that game in Seattle, and the Tigers just could not give him enough run support in that game. Chu stands in. The 1-1 is in there for a strike. 1-2 on Shin-Soo. Getting ahead of hitters. Simo, I mean, this is just something Fulmer has done all season long. He just continues to battle, and he's aggressive.
And today he's like Picasso. He's painting on both sides of the plate early in this contest.
There's a high fly ball to right field. It's playable for Martinez. And one gone. That'll bring up Ian Desmond. Desmond is 0 for 1 with a ground ball. He's had a really good year on it. And the amazing thing about Desmond, Simo and I were talking about this last night, is it is not easy to make the position change he has made, but at the same time put together a really good offensive year.
And I was a little surprised from the offensive numbers, Rod, given the fact that he was making the transition to the outfield from shortstop position. And I thought a lot of players would focus a lot on their defense because they would want to make plays. And it's a different position for him.
That's line to left field, a base hit for Ian Desmond. It'll be a 1-out single. And that'll bring up Carlos Beltran. And Rod, here's a guy that, well, you got to start looking at Hall of Fame credentials now. Really, the next two guys, Beltran and Beltre, are they Hall of Famers in your mind? Fulmer works it home and it's grilled to right field. That's going to chase Martinez back. JD's still going right to the wall to make the catch. 2 gone.
Third baseman, Beltre.
I think it's amazing, Simo. I mean, you've played in this heat as a really young player. I can't imagine being in your upper 30s playing in this heat.
No, I went down there yesterday and I go, how did I even play out there? I mean, it was hot. It really was. Couldn't stop sweating.
1 strike on Beltre, who, by the way, is probably next in line after Ichiro got his 3,000th a couple of days ago. Beltre knocking on the door now. He needs 109 hits to get to 3,000.
How about this, though, if you're the Texas Rangers, though? Well, how about this, Rod, though, if you're the Texas Rangers? We talk so much about the potent offense. But as you said, you have 2 Hall of Famers back-to-back in the middle of your lineup. Beltran and Beltre. And your 9-hole hitter is hitting, 295.
Pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That is cued foul down the first base line. Ground ball, base hit, right field. And that'll be a single for Beltre, putting runners at first and second now with 2 outs.
A lot of pitchers don't have that trust. And that's one of the reasons, Rod, he's one of the toughest guys to strike out, because he understands exactly what pitchers are doing, and he also has that ability to use the entire field.
Well, here is Rougned Odor now. 2-0 Tigers lead. Tying runs are on for Texas. Odor struck out against Fulmer in his first at bat. And he'll look at a strike 0-1. Reading a story where Odor, who is from Venezuela, used to go to the ballpark in the Venezuelan winter leagues all the time, and his uncles were all professional players down there, and they played with Miguel Cabrera in winter ball in Venezuela. And Rougned even has a picture as a youngster in the dugout with Miggy holding him as a baby. How about that?
You gotta love it.
There's the swing and a miss. So Odor's connection with Cabrera goes back to his early youthful days. Here's the 0-2. Would not chase 1-2. 95 from Fulmer out of the strike zone. Odor had a 7-game hitting streak snapped last night, but he's been swinging it for them. Pounded foul back out of play. It's got to be Altuve.
Yes, it's got. I'm going Altuve all day, every day. But I love Rougned Odor's power rod. He's got that high leg kick, gets it down in plenty time, and generates so much bat speed.
Swing and a miss, and down he goes. And Odor slams the bat to the ground. A strikeout for Fulmer when he needed it the most. Rangers get a couple of hits, and they strand 2. Still 2-0 Tigers as we go to the 5th. Pretty stunning. I think when you look at James McCann and the year he had offensively last year, you figured obviously he would take the next step this year. That's rolled right back to Griffin, and he'll be retired, one gone. But as you mentioned, Rod, it's good to see that at least he's starting to put some really good at-bats together now consistently, and going forward, that's something that's going to help his confidence.
Shortstop Andrew Roman.
Well, he's in his sophomore season, and now there's a book on him, and so he'll have to make some adjustments because the pitchers have made some adjustments. They're pitching him different, and that happens. That happens to all big leaguers, where you have to continue to make adjustments once these pitchers get a book on you. No longer will they continue to just throw you that fastball where you're accustomed to doing damage. They change speeds a little bit better. They know exactly what you can't hit.
That'll drop in for a base hit for Romine, and the Tigers have another base runner. One out single, and that'll bring up Ian Kinsler now. Hey, Rod, what do you think about this? The Tigers obviously have had a lot of injuries this year. We're talking about Castellanos, Maben, Iglesias, Zimmerman, all on the disabled list right now. Of those guys, who do you think the Tigers miss the most right now?
Well, there's no question about that, Rob. But for me, it's Cam Maben. This team started playing different when Maben came on the scene. He gave this team some edge. He gave them some swag. He gave them attitude. And he's positive inside that dugout and in the clubhouse. I believe that Maben is the biggest piece that's missing with this team right now.
Well, we showed the graphic earlier about the Tigers being 11 over 500 when Maben is in the lineup, as Kinsler swings and misses.
Well, Rod, the scouting report would tell you coming into today's game facing A.J. Griffin that he was going to go more off-speed pitches. He was going to go to the breaking ball and his slider and changeup. But you're absolutely right in your observation. I mean, he's thrown more fastballs to both right-handers and left-handers, so to speak, flipping the script on them.
Tyler Collins rips one to right field. That'll be a base hit. Romine will go to second and stop there, and that'll keep the inning going for Cabrera. Well, when you guys talk about flipping the script and all the fastballs you've seen, Rod, from Griffin, is that Doug Brocail saying let's switch it up, or is that Griffin saying we're going to switch it up today?
Well, I think Lucroy recognizes that the Tigers, from a right-hand heavy lineup, they're trying to stay inside the baseball. That's what they do so well. They use the big part of the field. And again, when you're throwing breaking balls, changeups, you actually speed up the hitter's bat, and they're able to catch that ball more out front. And that's when you start to see the ball get in the gaps and go over the fence. And so you gotta like how Lucroy is managing A.J. Griffin today because he's throwing some real nice two-seamers and crowding the right-hand hitters with really good fastballs on the inside part of the plate.
Miguel swings, bouncing ball to short, should get him out of the inning, and it does. A fielder's choice to end the frame. Rod, thanks for joining us. We'll see you on postgame. Tigers baseball here this afternoon from Texas, presented by Bell Tire. The temperature near 90 today, and the Tigers trying to win this series here against the Rangers. Lucroy leads it off, and he'll look at a ball outside from Michael Fulmer, who's been really good again here today. Through 4 innings, he has scattered 3 hits and has fanned a total of 4 in the game. Lucroy off the end of the bat, foul.
He's been very efficient today's contest. 9 of 15 first pitch strikes, which allows him to expand the strike zone. We've talked a lot about that wipeout slider. He's elevating that fastball, getting some swings and misses on that particular pitch. He's pitching aggressive inside.
And that was only his 50th pitch of the ball game. 2-1 on Lucroy, who struck out in the second. And there's the ratio after 50 total. That's fouled back out of play. The thing about Fulmer is the hometown fans have not been able to watch him pitch all that much this year, because 14 of his 19 starts, ironically, have just come on the road. And that's just the way the schedule has worked out.
And he's handled it well.
Yeah,
like you alluded to earlier, went into New York. It wasn't phased at all. Went to Beantown in Boston. Wasn't phased.
Wasn't phased there either, as Lucroy strikes out for the second time. Let's check out with John Keating now. We check in with Keats, who apparently is out in center field. Keats.
Mario, sort of appropriate that it's a larger-than-life figure, because that was certainly true of Nolan Ryan. And even though Michael Fulmer didn't get a chance to see him pitch in person, he recognizes how great a pitcher Ryan was and how great Fulmer wants to be in replicating that. He's from Oklahoma City, about 3.5 hours away, and even before he made his way to the major leagues, he had texts from family and friends asking for tickets for this weekend here in Texas, hoping that Michael Fulmer would be a Tiger. And what a Tiger he has been, guys.
Well, thanks, Keats. Nolan Ryan's a pretty good guy to look up to if you're a pitcher. There's no doubt about that. And as we said, he is pitching in front of a lot of friends and family here this afternoon, and he is not disappointed.
I actually got a chance to meet Nolan Ryan when I was with the Rangers, they have what they call career day. And it's for the rookies, young players. You get a chance to come up to the ballpark, and these wonderful families host you in their house, and you stay there for a week, and you go through so many situations. And I remember asking Nolan how to increase my velocity from the outfield. And he talked about long toss. He said you have to long toss. And so many guys, when they long toss, they throw the ball extremely high up in the air. But he said, no, Craig, you want to throw it on the line as far as you can spread out. And I truly believe that it helped me build some arm strength.
Really?
And actually threw the baseball better from left field when I had the opportunity to play here with the Tigers.
Mitch Moreland, the batter here with 1 out. So you would tell young kids then, if they want to build arm strength, to start a long toss program.
You definitely want to start a long toss program, and you don't want to throw the pop-up long toss. You want to throw it on the line, even one hopping it to the guy that you're throwing to.
That's lined into right field, but right there is J.D. Martinez.
Here's our high-speed pitch brought to you by Xfinity. Michael Fulmer on the mound, guys. Fastball has gotten up to 96 miles per hour. Low breaking ball changeup at 84 miles per hour.
Well, 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th, and it's going to be Jurickson Profar against Fulmer. Profar lines one to right. Martinez going back for this one, and Fulmer has himself another 1-2-3 inning, and again an 11-pitch inning. Pitch mound in great shape. Fulmer in the shadow of his idol here in Texas. Detroit is brought to you by Bell Tire. Get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. And by Chevrolet, more than you expect for less than you imagine. Back here in Arlington, we're at Globe Life Park here in Arlington, Texas, where the Tigers have a 2-0 lead as we go to the top of the 6th inning, and Victor Martinez will get it rolling out for the Tigers against A.J. Griffin. Griffin surrendered the homer to Victor in his last at bat, the only 2 runs of this game.
Yeah, Victor got himself a fastball over the middle of the plate, more middle in. He was able to take a good swing on it. And that's when you know Victor's feeling good, when he's hitting the ball out of the ballpark, because that means that lower half is underneath him. And it's so vital to a baseball swing, Mario, to have those legs underneath you.
Well, Victor last year was a shell of himself because he didn't have the legs underneath him. He had the knee problems, and that's certainly, I mean, he would go out there every day because that's just the type of player he is, but wasn't nearly 100%.
No, he gutted it out. And players, you respect that. You respect that everybody's going to deal with some injuries. There's no way you go through 162 games and be at full health. But it speaks volume to the guys, the 24 other guys inside the clubhouse, when guys still go out even though they're not at their best, and they give you a really good effort. And that's exactly what Victor was doing.
One away now for J.D. Martinez. It floats up and in. 1 ball to no strikes on Martinez. Another hit today for J.D. 1 for 2, and man, he is just continuing to pound the baseball. 378 in the month of August coming in. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike. Tigers the last 2 days have found a way to slow down this vaunted Texas offense. They scored 8 early runs in game 1 and held on to win at 8-5. Tigers shut them out last night. Here's a drive to right center. That's a base hit. Second hit of the game for Martinez. Here's Justin Upton.
Justin Upton got himself in a real good hitter's count his last time up, Mario, on a 2-0 count. Fastball over the heart of the plate, but again, got underneath that baseball, just missing it. Hopefully this time he can make that adjustment and try to get on top of the baseball, and opposed to trying to hit through, over guys. You want to try to hit it through guys.
It'll bend low and in. 1 ball, no strikes on Upton.
That'll keep him short. That'll keep him staying through the baseball if he thinks getting on top of it a little bit more. And then that's when you start to see the backspin and you get able to hit the balls in the gaps.
1-1. Justin now 2 for 25 on this road trip. Two balls and 1 strike.
Players will tell you when you go through a 2 for 25 and you'll ask them about their confidence, have they lost it a little bit, and they'll tell you that they haven't. That's not true. This game is result oriented, and when you're not getting the result, it weighs on you. You go home late at night, you're thinking about it, you're pressing when you're in the batter's box. There's no question about that, but you have to continue to grind it out, and hopefully things change.
He made a comment earlier how you start to grip the bat a little bit harder.
You do.
And that's the worst thing you can do.
Well, it just slows you down, slows your swing down. And that's what it looks like to me right now. Again, we talk about his swing being long. Yes, he's played every single day, but they've dealt with some injuries. Nick Castellanos out of the lineup. Iggy went down, and Maven's not in there, so you need somebody to step up. And Jay Up's the guy that Tigers are expecting to step up.
Full count now, 3-2 on Upton. McGee waiting on deck. Griffin approaching 80 pitches. He has not been able to go beyond 6 for a long time this season. And he walked him, so Upton gets a base on balls. 2 on now with 1 out. We check in again with John Keating.
Mario, no one is quite sure why Adrian Beltre has a thing about people touching his head, but he does. And you would think if you become his former teammate, that would give you the right? Well, not so much. There was Prince Fielder walking into his retirement press conference last week. He tapped Beltre on the head and still got the teammates glare, and Prince pointed to the neck brace he was wearing as if to say, you can't touch me. And as if the planets aligned here, it is Adrian Beltre bobblehead day, and it's perfect. The helmet comes off, so everybody can touch Adrian Beltre's head in the ballpark this afternoon.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that, but thanks, Keith. You know, it is funny, though. Certain guys just have certain idiosyncrasies. Don't touch me there. Just don't touch me.
And he doesn't like his head being touched at all. And boy, does he give you a death stare.
He does, man. It is, his teammates just love to go at him.
Love to tease him.
The 0-1 pitch is a ball outside. 1-1 on Casey McGee. Single and a walk in this inning now for the Rangers. That's driven in the air to right field. Going to be playable for Shin-Soo Choo. And the runners will hold. 2 gone. Well, keeping in the Beltre theme, how about this little thing they have on the scoreboard here, Keats?
Well, they actually put Beltre up on the scoreboard, and then they cut cameras, as we say in the television business. And so anybody who sees themselves on camera can touch Adrian Beltre's head. Apparently, he's okay video-wise, just not actually, you know, in person.
What we didn't show there is at the end of that little thing they do, they show him wagging his finger like Dikembe Mutombo. No,
Not so fast.
What a great feature here in Texas.
Cuidado. It means, like, be careful.
Yep.
Always hear him say that. Cuidado. Be careful.
Here's McCann now with 2 on and 2 out. Fouled away 0-1.
And you'll remember, guys, that he and Miguel Cabrera a couple of years ago had a little exchange at third base. Miggy always looking to poke some fun. Reached over and touched Beltre's head, and Beltre gave a shot to Miggy's midsection, shall we say, in response.
Very diplomatically put.
Both of those guys, though, man, they have so much fun playing the game, and they're extremely good players at their position, at their respective positions. But you love their attitudes. You love how they enjoy playing every single day.
There's a line drive, base hit into left center field. Here comes Martinez rounding third. He's going to score. Upton goes to third base, and a double for James McCann and an RBI to make it 3-0 Detroit.
Nice base running right there by James McCann. But let's take a look at the swing here, Mario. He continues to put together some solid at-bats, and here's one right here. Gets that foot down in plenty of time. Ball's on the outside part of the plate, but because of his timing, he's able to get the bat head out and pull that ball and drive in J.D. Martinez. But take a look at James McCann here. Looking at the throw, recognizes that J-Up is going to third, and he slides in safely at second base. Outstanding. I mean, outstanding base running by James McCann, getting himself in scoring position. And hopefully Romine can tack on a couple more runs here.
38th RBI of the season, 3-0 Tigers, and Romine looks at a ball outside. That is the 8th Tigers hit in this game. Romine in the ball game, a single and 2 at bats. He pops up a bunt, and Lucroy can't hold on. Ooh, he almost made a terrific play and probably should have squeezed that ball. New life for Romine.
I like the idea there, Romine trying to catch Adrian Beltre back at third base. Lay down a bunt, tack on an extra run there. You see that on occasion where guys peek down, the hitter peeks down at the third baseman, and when they're back, you feel like you lay down a really good bunt where Romine has some speed, and you feel like you can steal a run right there.
Yep, and that certainly is part of Romine's game. He just could not put that ball in play, and Lucroy came close to making a terrific play down the line. Andrew had a single in his last at bat. He sits safely now 9 of his last 12. You see the third baseman Beltre off the bag, and Upton coming down the line. Line foul out of play.
I love watching Dave Clark, the third base coach, when there's guys in scoring position. I mean, he gets way down towards the hitter, almost to home plate, so he can get a bird's eye view of everything that's going on. He's just fun to watch over there.
Yeah, Clarkie, more than most third base coaches, can shake hands with the batter pretty much.
Yes, he can.
Swing and a miss. He was way on in front and struck him out. Tigers get another run, though. The RBI single by McCann. It's now a 3-0 ball game.
Take a look at our bell tire pitch by pitch. Here's Michael Fulmer. He's on one today, Mario. Pounding the strike zone with quality strikes, pitching aggressively inside, and moving that fastball all around the strike zone, keeping the Ranger hitters off balance.
5 innings, and you look at the pitch count, it's only at 58. He hasn't walked anybody. Only 3 hits allowed. Nomar Mazara will lead things off. Number 9 hitter. The thing about Fulmer, Simo, that we've noticed, especially recently, this guy he's into the 7th and 8th inning once he reaches 90 pitches. A lot of times you'll see guys in the 6th. And really, he's been just so efficient.
Well, he's pitching to contact. He's not afraid of contact. He throws quality pitches over the heart of the plate and allows the hitters to get themselves out. Now the defense have worked extremely well for him today. But when a pitcher's working fast and efficiently, as a defensive player, you're on the balls of your feet. You're ready and able to make plays. And that's exactly what's going on today with Michael Fulmer on the mound.
60 now for Fulmer. That's it. Shin-Soo Choo will stand in. They'll play the shift defensively. And Fulmer's gotten some ground balls here today. 5 ground ball outs already. There's a strike called. I've always wondered, you know, especially for outfielders. Infielders probably can stay a little bit more engaged, I would think, if you have a guy that's slow on the mound. But in the outfield, for whatever reason, man, if you've got a guy that works slow or is walking people, it's got to be hard to maintain that concentration.
Oh, it's definitely hard. You start to get on the heels of your feet, and then at times, and then all of a sudden you get a ball, you just don't get there because again you wasn't on the balls of your feet and you wouldn't anticipate him being in the strike zone and them taking good swings.
There's a pop-up that's going to head foul back out of play. 0-2 on Choo, who is 0 for 2 in this game. Grounder and a flyout. Really not too many moments of stress for Fulmer in this game. They had 2 on 2 outs in the 4th, but no problem.
Mario, when that's happening too, when guys are not pounding the strike zone, you joke fun at them when you go into the dugout. Like, look, man, throw some more strikes. I'm having a tough time out here staying ready.
Only strikes out Choo, 2 gone. Hey, get a ticket to see the Tigers play the Boston Red Sox this Friday at 7:10 p.m. plus a 16-ounce Miller Lite for as low as $19. It's the Friday night party package. Visit tigers.com or call 866-66-TIGER. That is 6 punch-outs now for the right-hander, Michael Fulmer. Here is Ian Desmond. He sends a ground ball to third. That is a fair ball. McGee's throw scooped at first by Miggy, and another quick inning. How about 7-pitch inning for Fulmer? It is time now for T-Mobile's greater coverage of baseball. It appears the Royals are coming to town beginning tomorrow at Comerica Park. Those KCers, man, they are struggling this year.
Well, 2 back-to-back World Series appearances. The guys are tired mentally. You get mentally drained. And coming into this season, Mario, I thought that would happen to the Kansas City Royals. And obviously, Gordon has been a shell of himself this year. They've dealt with some injury. Lorenzo Cain's been out for a while. He's back now.
That ball hammered deep to left field down the line. Kinsler puts a charge into that one, and it is gone. A home run. Ian Kinsler made no doubt about that one, coming back to Texas with the long ball. And they're booing him around the bases.
Nice swing there, though, by Kinsler, though. He hunts that pitch on the inside part of the plate. He got one on the inside part of the plate that he can handle, and he pulled those hands in extremely nice. And he hit that ball, Mario, a long way.
It'll be his 22nd home run of the year. We talked about these 2 second basemen in this series. They each have 22 homers.
Take a look at Ian Kinsler's swing here. Gets that front foot down, head down. And again, you just love the fact that guys make really good decisions when they get that front foot down. And that ball there traveled a long way.
So Kinsler gets his 63rd RBI. He had struck out 3 times against Griffin. Not that time, though. That's right to the center fielder, Desmond. Lots of smiles for Kinsler.
Continue padding those numbers against his old team. 354. Now he's got 4 home runs with 12 RBIs.
You know, you made a mention earlier, Simo, that when you face a team that once had you and traded you away, or you left for whatever reason, I'm glad to hear the truth, because a lot of times players will say, no, it's just another game.
No,
You're here to
not.
tell me it's not.
It's not. And don't let them tell you that anymore, Mario. It's not. Your focus changes. You want to make sure that you do everything in your power to make that team pay.
Miggy out in front there. 0-2. Well, Cabrera's had an 0-for-3 day. The Tigers have 2 homers today. Victor Martinez and Ian Kinsler. And Miggy just got a piece of it. He doesn't seem to be seeing Griffin all that well today.
Well, he's kind of, in that first at bat, Griffin established that he was going to elevate that fastball, and Miggy chased a couple of them.
Ooh, he held up. Did he go? No, he did hold up.
And now this time here, he's kind of changing it up on him. Not only he's not going up with that fastball, he's trying to get ahead of him with breaking balls here. But Miggy not phased. He's the best right-hand hitter for a reason. He'll make the adjustment. He'll get a pitch he can handle.
Swing and a miss. Out of the strike zone, he chased again. And there are 2 gone.
We've seen that a lot this series. Guys chasing that fastball. The Texas Rangers continue to elevate fastballs and get the Tigers to chase that pitch.
You know, Griffin now has 8 strikeouts in this game.
And he's not a strikeout pitcher.
No. Well, here's the guy that got him back in the 4th, a 2-run shot for Victor. Fouled away 0-1.
Tigers helping him out a little bit for me today. Chasing pitches out of the strike zone. They got a keyhole and get some pitches that they can absolutely handle. And we've seen them do that throughout the season. And that's why this offense, we talk about it being potent as well.
That's driven to center field, base hit.
Let's take a look at our big boy play of the game. It was Victor Martinez getting the Tigers on the board on a fastball on the inside part of the plate, just keeping it inside the right field foul pole.
It'll tie the career high for Griffin, allowing 10 hits in this game. And now J.D. Martinez. That missed inside. 1-0. 4-0 home run here by Kinsler has extended the lead. A good day for J.D. Couple of hits, double single, run score. We'll get back out of play. Every time we come to Texas, Simo, I just start to wonder, and guys like JD and Cabrera and a lot of the great home run hitters, how many homers they would have in this ballpark, Baltimore, some of the other good hitting ballparks.
Well, they're definitely not. You definitely lose some home runs at Comerica Park. That's one of the reasons there. You can't try to hit home runs. You really have to be a line drive and a gap-to-gap hitter at Comerica Park because of the right center and center field. It's deep out there, Mario. It's 420. And then when you do come to a ballpark like Texas, you go to U.S. Cellular and Baltimore, Camden Yards, you just feel like you can get rewarded for staying to the big part of the field.
I mean, just the look on some of the faces of hitters that'll hit a ball to center field, hit it about 415 feet at Comerica, and it's just a long out.
And then you come back to the dugout, and your teammates are going, "Oh, good swing, buddy." And you're like, "Nah, I don't want to hear that. It's not a good swing. I'm out."
Good swing, buddy.
Yeah. That's their joke, inside joke.
Ooh, that ball's launched deep to left field, down the line. It is hooking, and that ball is gone. A home run. Another homer for the Tigers, the third hit of the day for J.D. Martinez.
Tigers playing big boy baseball today.
They are pouring it on.
Flexing those muscles.
Martinez hits number 15 of the season. That's 3 homers on the day. You know what that means.
Oh, that's curly fries for everybody.
It's curly fries indeed. 6-0 Tigers. And that's going to be it for A.J. Griffin. So we'll get a wall sign windows pitching change. Griffin goes to the showers, and we'll be back. Six nothing in the 7th. J.D. Martinez has just gone deep for number 100 in his career, and one that he'll remember for a while. A 2-run shot here in Texas. So congratulations to J.D. reaching that milestone. Upton swings and misses. 0-1. New pitcher is Alex Claudio for Texas.
Lefty here, 23 games, 1 hole. He's got an ERA of 2.61. 21 strikeouts and just 6 walks.
He'll float one outside. The count is 1-1 on Upton.
Claudio's not overpowering. He's a finesse pitcher. He's got to move the baseball around the strike zone and change some speeds to try to keep the hitters off balance.
Right back up the middle, and what a play there by Odor. He spins and throws him out. Well, that's just some bad luck there for Upton. Tigers add a few more runs here in the 7th. A solo shot by Ian Kinsler, his 22nd of the year. And then J.D. hits It's the 100th of his career. Six nothing here. The Tigers had 3 more in the 7th on a pair of home runs. And now the Rangers here in the bottom of the 7th will have the meaty part of their lineup coming up. Beltran, Beltre, and Odor. But no big deal for Fulmer today. He's thrown just 65 pitches in 6 innings. And Beltran is 0 for 2 as we get things started here in the bottom of the 7th. Ball 1 outside to Carlos Beltran. Ground out, fly out for Beltran, the 9-time All-Star. Outside, 2 balls to no strikes. Rangers today have been limited to 3 hits. Tigers have 11 hits. Outside, 3-0.
Rangers having to deal with Michael Fulmer today, who's on his game, pounding the strike zone with some good quality pitches. Not afraid to pitch inside. He's doing an outstanding job, Mario, keeping these guys off balance. Boyd was outstanding last night, and Michael Fulmer has done the same.
Here's the 3-1 pitch, and it's in there, a strike. I was talking to Daniel Norris in Seattle and asked him, do you and Fulmer and Boyd kind of consider yourself the future of this rotation? Now, you guys might band together here and say, you know what, we got a good chance here. And he said we do. That ball is popped up, foul ground, and caught by McGee. 1 away. And you know, when you think about it, they really do have a good chance of being the cornerstone to this rotation next year. It's kind of exciting in the years to come, I should say.
I mean, it's really exciting. Both of these guys continue to mature, and obviously when you look at Michael Fulmer, he's been absolutely dominant in his first year at the major league level. But you have to love the growth and the maturity of Matt Boyd continue to learn at the major league level.
Here's Beltre now with 1 out. And he'll look at a ball inside 1-0. I think the telltale sign was at the trading deadline this year, the Tigers had multiple inquiries about all 3 of those guys, and the Tigers held on to all 3. There's a foul straight back, 1-1. So that ought to tell you the Tigers had no real feeling they wanted to get rid of any of those guys to improve the team this year. Pretty solid building blocks. Now the 1-1. Almost hit him inside, 2-1. Eight straight retired by Fulmer. 6-0 Tigers lead. We're in the 7th.
They got 3 really good young pitchers in the trades last year. Obviously getting Michael Fulmer from the Mets for Yoenis Cespedes. You have to love the Van man, especially when healthy. He's outstanding. Got him in a trade for David Price.
And it's popped up. Who wants it? McGee. He'll come in from third. 2 gone. I'm not sure the Tigers felt Fulmer would develop this quickly at this level, but he has. And now here are the last 2 young guns that we've seen the last 2 nights here.
Well, when you look at Matt Boyd, what he was able to do last night in the contest, and going 7 innings, only walking 2 batters, didn't give up a run. I like the fact that he was aggressive early in the season. I watched him nibble on both sides of the plate, a little bit afraid to pitch to contact, but that has not been the case in his last few outings. He's attacked the strike zone, and he's allowed the defense to work for him.
I was reading some comments that Boyd made today in the newspaper saying that there was a little bit of a tweak that Rich Doobie made, the pitching coach, to his arm angle, and that provided a tick or 2 in his velocity.
You rarely see that or hear stories of guys gaining velocity in the middle of a season.
Exactly. But when you looked at the numbers last night, his fastball, I mean, we had it up to like 95, 96 last night. The 0-2 is fouled back out of play.
I mean, that's a legitimate swing and miss pitch when you're talking about the upper 90s, 95 and 96.
Right.
You can get away with a lot more mistakes, but he didn't make any mistakes last night. I mean, he really kept the baseball down south of the knees. He used the corners, and Michael Fulmer has done the exact same thing today.
1-2 on Rougned Odor, who has fanned twice against Fulmer, and that was just his 80th pitch of the afternoon. Off the inside part of the plate, and now the count has leveled to 2s.
Well, Odor has been chasing that high cheese, that high fastball up with the 2-2 counts, hit pitcher's count. Look for Fulmer to try to change his eye level and go up and see if he'll chase that high fastball again.
A little bit off the plate, full count now, 3-2. Jonathan Lucroy waiting on deck. Odor sends a bouncer up the middle. Romine is positioned perfectly, and they got him by a step. 1, 2, 3 innings, 7 in the books. Fulmer great again here today. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire.
Montgomery in the 4th inning. It was V-Mark getting the home run party started in the 4th inning. And it was in Kinsler in the 7th inning. Big fly to left field. And J.D. Martinez in the 7th hitting his 100th home run of his career. And that's one, guys, he'll never forget.
And you total it all up, and the Tigers lead here this afternoon 6-0 as we go to the top of the 8th inning. After dropping the first 4 on this road trip, Tigers can finish up with a couple of wins if they can finish this one off. Bottom 3 coming up. It'll be McGee, McCann, and Romine facing Alex Claudio, who got the final out of the 7th. Griffin knocked out of the game in the 7th. McGee looks at a strike, 0-1.
Claudio's got a funky delivery, a little side armor. Likes to go to that slider. Has good separation too, Mario, between his fastball and his changeup.
Got a little rocking motion too. Did you hate facing guys like this, or did it not bother you?
I absolutely hated it. I mean, these guys are so tough to pick up because you come accustomed to looking at the pitcher's release point over his head. You know, most guys throw a little bit over the top, and when guys drop down, it just makes it tough to pick up the baseball because you have to change your eye level. Take a look at his delivery here, a little funky delivery there, and then he side arm, he kind of slings the baseball, and again it starts so far away from a right-hand hitter, almost in the left-hander's batter's box, and he's able to bring that ball and run it in on the righty's hands.
McGee in this game, strikeout, ground out, fly out. That'll be low and away, and the count goes 3-2. Claudio is out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Only 24 years old. Got to the big leagues a couple of years ago, briefly pitching in 15 games, and then spent a lot of the time in the minors last year, but some big league time. That's driven in the air to center. It's going to be playable. And routine there for Desmond. Well, it was routine until he dropped it. Perhaps not so routine.
It happens, and it's a helpless feeling too.
But how does this happen?
Well, you just don't watch the baseball into the glove. You've done it so many times, and at times you take it for granted that you're going to catch it because you've come accustomed to just making plays. And there for a minute, a little brain mental lapse there.
You know what my youth coach used to tell me when I was a little kid and I made a play like that? 2 hands, Willie Mays, 2 hands.
That's right, 2 hands.
Every time I tried a one-handed catch, man, he was on me. And that's why, right there, even in the big leagues, it happens.
It happens.
There's a bouncing ball back up the middle. That'll be a base hit. So McCann has a single, his 2nd hit today.
Shortstop Andrew Roman.
2 on, nobody out. Hey, don't miss out your chance to see the 2016 Michigan Sports Hall of Fame induction. It's Friday, September 9th. Be there as sports legends Derek Jeter, Ben Wallace, Brendan Shanahan, and more unofficially welcome to the 2016 class. For tickets or more information, visit mshof.org or call 313-576-3111. mshof.org. Well, we got a lot of Michigan folk in the house in this series. A lot of Tigers fans. And that guy right there's got the Old English D in maize and blue. 2 on now, and nobody out. A little bit outside to Romine. Always wondered how pitchers can really kind of reel it in after a misplay like that, which should have been an easy routine out. It lengthens the inning, forces them to throw more pitches. There's a ground ball to short. Claudio has an answer. It's a double play. 2 gone.
Well, I've done that. Obviously, most guys, when you play at this level, you're going to do it. But I remember doing it in Seattle with Jeremy Bunderman on the mound.
Oh,
and
boy.
Obviously, that's where he's from. He's got 100 and some people in the stands. Mario, get this. The bases was loaded. And I was like a little hot dog thinking, oh, it's a routine fly ball. And I kind of skipped through it, and it just trickled. It just went, and I couldn't make the catch. And it was the worst feeling. And when I walk in the dugout, I tell Bunderman, Dude, I'm so sorry. I took that ball for granted.
And Bondo said?
Bondo said, I'll pick you up, brother.
Nice. Ooh, that's barely fouled down the third base line.
That's what teammates do.
Yeah.
You got to pick each other up.
Well, I think sometimes we think that the guys on the field are robots and that every single play has to be made, whether it's routine or not.
Well, you like to believe so.
Right.
But it doesn't always happen. Nope.
0-1 on Kinsler, who homered in the 7th. He is 1 for 4. He had struck out in his first 3 at-bats against Griffin and then homered against him. (6-0). Tigers have the lead here in the 8th. McGee at third with 2 outs. Little chopper foul to third base. How close was that last one? I mean, to the naked eye, it looked like a base hit. That was really close.
I mean, that's real close. I seen chalk. A little chalk there. That's supposed to be a hit, huh?
Looked like it crossed the bag, right over the bag.
It did. Might have missed that one.
Well, you can tell how frustrating it can be to face a guy like Claudio. You saw Kinsler there just kind of leaning and leaning, but he couldn't pull the trigger.
These are the toughest guys to face. Again, when you know they're not going to overpower you with their fastball, and then they just continue to be, we call them thumbers. Thumbers. They're not going to overpower. You're going to try to change speeds with all their all-speed pitches. And then when they get you to 2 strikes, like you've seen right there, you tried to speed him up with a fastball out of the strike zone, but Kinsler wasn't biting. So hard to keep your hands back on those 68, 72 mile per hour breaking ball changeups when you're timing a fastball.
Tigers today have 12 hits, only 3 for the Rangers. Yanked to right field on a line, and it's going to be caught by Mazzara. That'll end the inning. No runs, a hit, an error, 1 man left. Outstanding again today. The pitch count has been in great shape. Simo all after long, and he has just really battled again this afternoon.
7 innings pitched, just 3 hits. And as we're talking about a very potent Texas Rangers lineup that he's been able to maneuver through with ease.
Lucroy leads it off here in the 8th. It'll be Lucroy, Moreland, and Profar.
I bet the Rangers wasn't expecting. I mean, they've heard about Fulmer. They got the scouting report, but once you get in the batter's box, it's a different story. He's blowing them away with good fastballs at 95, 96. And he's also slowed him down with that real good changeup. And he continues to throw that wipeout slider and get some swings and misses as well.
Here's the 1-1. High towering fly ball toward left, hooking toward the corner. Upton coming over. Not going to be able to get it. Well, you can speak to this, Simo, when you that catch was made.
Well, it was down there in that corner.
He did. Lucroy was standing at home plate, and they finally told him to go. I thought that ball got back into the seats.
Well, if you take a look up at the flag, you see how that flag's blowing towards right field? That ball was looking like it was hooking foul, but the wind has picked up a little bit here at Globe Life Park, and Jay Up was able to make a play in the corner in left field.
And quite easily, actually.
Easy. I thought he was going to have to jump up on the wall, and he did too, but he didn't have to.
There's a strike on the outer edge. Brian Knight had to tell Lucroy, you're out.
Lucroy just knew that ball was going foul.
Moreland, the batter, is 0 for 2. Shifting on the left-handed batter. Strikeout and a fly out for Moreland. Yanked foul down the first base line. Here's Lucroy.
Lucroy said that ball was foul. Stay through it, stay inside of it, fixing his helmet, getting ready to go.
I'm with you, Lucroy. I was in the seats too.
And he said, I'm out.
Oh, man.
Really? Man.
Fix the batting gloves, adjust the helmet, and then walk back in the bench.
Walk back to the dugout.
Swing and a miss, man. Fulmer up at the helmet, and it's swung through by Moreland. 2 gone.
Both teams continue to chase that high fastball, Mario, in this entire series.
Well, the Tigers continue to look at the innings of Michael Fulmer. When you're approaching 90 pitches in the 8th, I mean, you got to keep him out there.
Yeah, you have to keep him out there again, but he's so efficient right now with really good quality strikes in the strike zone.
And that's why you consider pitches and innings. There's the breakdown in Fulmer through 90 now.
Hasn't really pitched in a lot of stress today. He's kind of had his way with the Rangers hitters.
How many times have we said that? Oof, not much stress.
Especially when you start to talk about the Texas Rangers lineup when they're deep 1 through 9. Very impressive what Fulmer has been able to accomplish here through 7 innings.
Jurickson Profar batting with 2 outs, 6-0. Tigers have the lead. They've led all day, and they got the 2 runs early in the 4th inning on the home run by Victor Martinez. They've hit a total of 3 in this game.
Got curly fries for everybody.
Yeah, that's right. That's what matters the most.
That's it. I'm getting some. I love curly fries.
You gonna bring the box score to Arby's tomorrow?
I love curly fries.
They are good.
I do.
Just being honest here, they really are good.
I just love curly fries.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss as Profar goes fishing. How about 8 strikeouts now for Michael Fulmer as he walks off the mound, dominating yet another team. A 1-2-3-8. Fulmer cruising along, and so are the Tigers. All right, Johnny, thank you. It is Tyler Collins leading it off and bouncing the first pitch to second base. One gone.
First base, Miguel Cabrera.
That'll bring on Miguel Cabrera. Tigers on top 6-0, looking to win the series after being swept in Seattle. And Miggy in the ball game is 0 for 4. He has punched out twice in this game. It is not very often the Tigers put up 12 hits and Miggy does not have at least one of those. Let's see if he can join the party here in the 9th.
I've got him joining the party right here.
What do you got? Homer, double?
I feel like a homer. Miggy's due for one.
I've got an inside the park home run to right center.
Right, wouldn't that be awesome to watch a big fella run around the bases?
There's the ball low and away. 2 balls, no strikes on Cabrera. Martinez will be next.
I like this matchup, though. Claudio's got that two-seam fastball fading away from Miggy. Miggy has that right center built-in swing. I could see a homer to right center. Wind's blowing that way as well. Not that he needed, because he's got tremendous power. There's no doubt about that.
He's the last guy in the ballpark that needs it.
No.
And Cabrera skies one in the air to right field. That ball is hit deep. It is gone. A home run. Way to go, Simo. An opposite field homer on a 2-1 pitch, and the Tigers get another. You the man, Simo.
Well, you just knew watching Claudio, the ball's fading away, and then just plays right into Miggy's hand. He knows he's not going to challenge him inside, and so I just had a feeling that Miggy's going to stay on the baseball and drive it out and do exactly what he did. Play big part baseball, 4th home run.
You looked at me like, yeah, that's right, I called it. I called it right here.
I did, didn't I? I looked over at you like, yeah. Yeah, I did. Oh, I love it. I love this game.
That is the 12th this year for Cabrera the other way. Most of the major leagues. There's a swing and a miss by V-Mart.
Take a look at Miggy's swing here. Knew that ball was fading away, but look at him. Stays inside the baseball, stays on the ball, and that's classic Miggy right there.
7-0 Tigers. They've hit 4 home runs in the ball game now. And for Cabrera, number 27 on the season. Classic.
Oh, I'll remember that one. I will. I'm honest.
Well, I'm sure we have it on tape for you.
Yes, sir. Enjoying it, being here, hanging out with you last 3 days. It's been awesome. It's been challenging at times, but it's been a lot of fun.
Here's a running scoop by Profar, and his throw is in time. 2 gone. Hey, by the way, you can follow Tigers baseball live with the MLB.com at bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video highlights, StatCast news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your phone or your tablet. 2 gone now, and here is J.D. Martinez. J.D. grounds one right back to the mound. Claudio will handle this one. That'll end the inning. But a predicted home run from Miguel Cabrera by Craig Monroe has given the Tigers 1 more. We go to the bottom of the 9th. bottom of the 7th. It is now 7-0, and you're looking at a couple of guys right now that are smack dab in the middle of the Rookie of the Year conversation. And for my money, I know we're hometowners here, but Michael Fulmer's got it for me.
I mean, he's just been so dominant this season, and you have to believe that he's the front runner. But make no mistake, this kid, Nomar Mazara, has been outstanding in his rookie campaign. 13 home runs, 44 RBIs, solid approach at the plate.
Well, Fulmer going to work here in the 9th inning, looking for his first complete game of his career. Tigers do have some action just in case in their bullpen. Mazara is 0 for 2. 1 ball, 1 strike on the number 9 hitter for the Rangers. Rondon and Lowe warming up. Eight strikeouts for Fulmer. 2 balls, 1 strike. Mazara to be followed by Chu and then Desmond. Here's the 2-1.
Mazara's got a solid approach at the plate. He's very patient. Understands the strike zone extremely well, and I think that's a big part of the reason why he's able to hit 282. He also has some power. He's got 13 home runs, but I like his ability to drive the ball in the gaps, especially the left center, staying on the baseball. You rarely see that from young guys in the game.
Right over the head of the shortstop. And Mazara with right on cue, a slicing single to left center field. So the leadoff man on here in the 9th. Fulmer trying to finish this one out on his own. And his next pitch will be his 100th of the afternoon. Shin-Soo Choo will stand in.
Really like to see him finish this off, man. He's been so dominant today. You just would love to see him get a complete game shutout of one of the best lineups in all of baseball.
He's gotten Chu 3 times. Strikeout, flyout, groundout. That's in for a strike 0-1. Here are the numbers by inning, and you can see he's had several very quick, snappy innings, which has kept his pitch count in great shape all afternoon.
It also goes to show you that you have to, as a pitcher, you have to pitch aggressive in the strike zone. He's allowed the defense to make some plays. We've seen Tyler Collins, center, go back and make an outstanding play. We saw J.D. Martinez early in this contest do the exact same thing, make some outstanding plays. And so you just love the efficiency from Michael Fulmer today.
That one just off the plate, a little bit high as well, 1-2. Now they will shift as McGee heads over to the right side of the infield. And McCann reminding his infielders somebody's got to cover third on a base hit because the left side is wide open. Rolled foul.
Fulmer's got 8 strikeouts in today's contest, 7 ground outs, 3 flyouts. I'd take one of those ground balls right now, get the double play.
Driven to center field. It is going to be caught by Collins. Sliding play by Tyler Collins in center field.
The outfield play today has been outstanding, guys. I mean, outstanding play there by Collins. Gets a great jump on this ball. Look at the slide there. Little smooth slide. Get up and know that he has to get the baseball in. Keeping Mazara at first base. Outstanding jump.
Here are the total amount of innings thrown by Fulmer. And you see last year he had 124, so he's gone beyond that this year. The Tigers, I think the general rule is you don't want to go more than 20% over the previous year with a lot of young guys. But Fulmer has done a really good job of limiting his innings.
When he's got that real big frame too, strong Strong young man from Oklahoma City.
And I think you have to take that into account, too. I mean, he doesn't have like a Tim Lincecum.
No,
where he might be worried.
He's well put together.
Ian Desmond, the batter. 2-0 on Desmond. Well, if you're wondering on Fulmer, the most he has thrown in a single start this year is 106. And that's where he's at right now. So he's about to throw his 107th, which would give him the most of any start. And it's low, 3-0.
Desmond taking all the way on that 2-0 count.
Three and one on Desmond. You got Beltran waiting on deck.
If you're the Rangers, you wouldn't be mad if Brad had to go get Michael Fulmer, because he's been on one today. He's giving them fits.
They'd almost rather face the guy in the bullpen that throws 101.
They would.
That's in, a strike called. 3-2.
You have those days, though, where the pitcher's on his game, changing speeds, pitching ahead in the count, moving the baseball around the strike zone. And at times in the batter's box, it's a helpless feeling that you can't get to these guys.
Swing and a miss. Desmond out of there, and Fulmer comes back from 3-0 to strike him out.
There was that wipeout slider that I was talking about right there. That pitch out of his hand starts over the heart of the over the middle of the plate, but then when it gets to the hitter, look at how much it darts out of the strike zone. It's an outstanding pitch by Michael Fulmer.
9 of them now for Fulmer. One more out to get. Here is Beltran. So Fulmer has retired 15 of the last 16 that he has faced in this game. And at one point he retired 13 in a row. Beltran is 0 for 3. Rangers have only 4 hits today. Ground ball right side, right into the shift. And that's going to do it. The Tigers win the finale behind Michael Fulmer. And the Rookie of the Year candidate, with all the friends and family in attendance, throws a complete game shutout. What a day for Fulmer.
In front of your old friends, teammates, high school teammates. I mean, just an outstanding pitch and performance. He just totally dominated the best lineup in the major league.
Unbelievable. His first career complete game is a shutout in Texas against this Rangers lineup. And if that doesn't speak volumes, folks, nothing will. Fulmer, the story here today, wins his 10th of the year.